Hey guys, welcome to Code Decode. In this video, we are going to look into a very important aspect which is now built into Spring Boot 3.x. That is micrometer tracing. Now, with Spring Boot 3, micrometer matrices and tracing is actually baked into this Spring Boot 3 framework. So, this is now a very hot topic recently in the recent interviews. Reason being, first of all, Spring Boot 3 is quite new. It is very frequently asked, and micrometer is something which is given out of box in Spring Boot 3 for you. So that's why there are lots of buzz around this micrometer tracing in the interview sessions. So let's see and understand what is this micrometer all about and how it helps in making our life easy. Also, we'll see interview questions around these. So let's get started. So first of all, what is micrometer? And as usual, let's not go towards the boring theory. Let's understand with an example. Let's just take an example of something which we all love, that is restaurant. So when you go into the restaurant, you order some burgers. These are the matrices, that is numbers or the calculations or the time taken, and all those things becomes the matrices. For example, how many burgers you order, how much time did the restaurant takes to receive and deliver your order, and how long is your waiting queue for the restaurant. That is all about the numbers, the matrices. How you can correlate in the Spring Boot life, that is equivalent to, so how many burgers you ordered is actually the counter. That is the number of HTTP requests that is being hit to your endpoint. Remember, matrices, micrometer tracing is all about how your application is behaving to a particular request coming to your application, how your application is reacting to that particular request, how much time it takes to respond to such kind of HTTP request, and what is the throughput of your particular endpoint. All these things comes with micrometer for you. And all these things which you accumulate and you trace along all the microservices become your micrometer tracing. And when you log it, that becomes logging. Too much of theory, let's not go towards it. Let's understand each and every stuff with an analogy. So how many burgers you order becomes how many number of HTTP requests your endpoint is getting hit with. So suppose I ordered 5 burgers. That means 5 HTTP request is being hit to /place orders. That analogy, that how long does the restaurant takes to bake your order? That is time taken by your order service.place order endpoint to complete the HTTP request and give the response to the client back. This is the matrice, that is a timer. The gauge, that is how full is the restaurant queue, or the current number of pending order in the Kafka or in the ActiveMQ. That is how quickly you can process the orders in the queue is your efficiency or the gauge. So these are all the matrices. But how your requests travel through multiple microservices, that becomes your tracing. That is, in the terms of restaurant analogy, what happens from the time you entered the restaurant, you placed an order of 5 burgers, how much time is taken by the people to cook your orders, and it is served to you. Complete end-to-end tracing is what micrometer tracing do. Something very similar to Sleuth, but Sleuth is now deprecated. So don't answer in an interview that you're using Spring Boot 3, but you're still using Sleuth. They would say it is deprecated. Why did not you migrate to something which is given out of box to you for Spring Boot 3, that is micrometer? Why still Sleuth? Okay, so I think I am able to make you understand what is matrices, that is counters, timers, gauge, that is the number around how your request is getting parsed, how long it takes to be fulfilled, how many requests you are capable to handle, and how many pending orders you are able to process quickly in that particular span of time. Second very important thing was tracing. So micrometer comes with 2 things: matrices, that is numbers; tracing, that is the journey of the whole request. So this is very similar to Sleuth. So journey says, like a tracing number is what you get that will track your request throughout the system. And as expected, the tracing has a proper concepts, that is trace ID, span, and context propagation. If you know, we would have seen this in the Sleuth also. There is a ID, there is a span ID, and there is a context propagation. This trace ID is actually a unique ID for the whole end-to-end HTTP request. Suppose you have order service, payment service, inventory service, and delivery service. This trace ID will remain same across all the microservices. But the span ID will change for each different microservice. And while passing from one microservice to another, the trace headers are also passed, that is called as context propagation, so that when you log it all together, you can just give the trace ID and all the microservices, all the methods, every micrometer matrices can be seen with just one trace ID. Along with that, you can have your span IDs, and then with that span ID, you can see which particular microservice is actually not behaving good, it's taking longer time and is becoming a bottleneck or crossing the thresholds. So that is how beautifully the micrometer tracing helps in real life. So where do you apply this micrometer tracing? Between microservices, you have one called as trace ID. In the individual microservice, that is nested method call, also you can do it. In an async systems also, you can use micrometer tracing. So what does micrometer do? Micrometer collects the data, that is matrices and the traces, make it into a particular format of log, and this it's the part of Splunk or Zipkin to show, visualize and analyze your logs. So if that is all clear for the analogy, let's get into some kind of theory that you have to answer in an interview. So when they ask you what is micrometer, don't go and say it's a restaurant analogy. No. Let's answer it in proper professional way. Think of micrometer as a matrices and observability library built into Spring Boot that collects matrices, traces, and convert them into proper log format on how your app behaves. And there are multiple many tools that are called as backend for this micrometer, that is Zipkin, Splunk, Prometheus, Grafana, to show and visualize those logs too. So Spring Boot 3 uses micrometer as default observability library. Why I would say it is default? Reason being, before Spring Boot 2, matrices were optional. Tracking wasn't baked in inside the Spring Boot 3 framework. Now, micrometer is a part of core observability system. So that time, micrometer were used for only matrices, only if it is needed, and not for tracing at all. If you need tracing, you have to manually integrate with Zipkins for Brave or OpenTelemetry. You have to choose and configure things manually like Prometheus, Grafana or Splunk. But with Spring Boot 3, what is the beautiful part? Now micrometer tracing is also the part of core observability along with the matrices. So as before, it supports matrices, and this is a new tracing via micrometer tracing APIs. But this API can only be used via some trace engine called as Brave. Now you would ask me, it's too much of theory. What is Brave? What is OpenTelemetry? So don't worry. I'm going to cover each and everything. Don't worry. First, let's understand how Spring Boot 2 and Spring Boot 3 is different. And this is the reason why you have to understand and learn so much things. So initially in Spring Boot 2, matrices were there in micrometer. So yes, it remains the same. Many people coming to an interview and says, now we have a support for matrices also. And I would say no, because that was already there. What new came into Spring Boot 3 is tracing. The tracing is the new thing. So tracing is now with micrometer tracing APIs, and tracing was also initially there, but it was with Sleuth and you have to manually do it. It is not available out of the box for you. So tracing via Sleuth is now deprecated. It was there with Spring Cloud Sleuth and Brave. Was there any observation API available? Now it is there, but initially it was not there. Now what you have for the observability, core observability system, you have micrometer. Also, there was any native support for tracing. Initially it was not. It was all manual, and it is a separate library that you have to add using Sleuth. Now you have integrated micrometer and actuator help. So if you would ask me, what is the beautiful thing now is you just add the actuator dependency, and all the endpoint matrices like gauge, counters, timers, you can get just with this actuator endpoint also. Now interview will trick you. So it would say, okay, so is micrometer tracing truly out of the box in Spring Boot 3? So you don't have to do anything and it will automatically have Brave and the bridge and everything. The answer is no, it is not fully out of box. You must add the right dependency to show the intent of using the tracing in your application. If you don't show an intent in an application that I want to use tracing and logging, then why would it will do it automatically? So how do you show an intent? By adding the right dependencies to your pom.xml. or Gradle file. But a very important thing is there should be a bridge. I'll tell you why I'm showing all this thing. Okay. First, let's understand the three pillars of micrometer. That is matrices, tracing, and logs. Why I'm covering this is because matrices was also there in Spring Boot 2. This is not new in Spring Boot 3. And I have already covered the number of burgers you orders, the time taken by the restaurant to fulfill your 5 burger order and give it to you, and the total number of people in the queue for your waiting list. All those gauge, timers, counters becomes the numeric values becomes the matrices part. The tracing is the way how your request flows end to end from order service to payment service to delivery service to inventory service. So, for example, the request took 320 milliseconds in 4 microservices. That is the tracing part. The tracing is divided with trace ID, which is unique across all the microservices, the span ID, which is unique in one microservice only. It can change to the different microservice. And the logs, that is a beautiful way of converting in plain text all the events what happened in your complete end-to-end microservice flow. So that's the plain text events that happened in an application. So for example, user logged in with ID number 7. This is something that you code log.info, log.something. Now we are going to just focus on tracing part first. So what is micrometer tracing? What we have seen is what was micrometer. So what do you think is micrometer? It's a matrice and observability library which is built into the Spring Boot framework, which helps you collect matrices, traces, and logs. We have seen matrices, now we are going to see the traces, and then we will see the logs. So what is micrometer tracing? A micrometer tracing is the one which lets you trace a request. That is, you see how the request is moving around with different microservices, components, and also along with that, it records how long each of the microservice takes and how long the total end-to-end request takes. So the micrometer tracing gives you trace ID for the whole request, that is unique ID. So as you go into the restaurant, the unique ID or the order number that you get is a unique ID. The span ID is individual timed step in each request, that is a single microservice took how much time, and the ID for one single microservice. The context propagation is carrying the trace parent or such kind of common headers across all the microservice for better tracing. Now, the very important question asked nowadays is, what if I do not use micrometer tracing? So let's see the comparison if what happens without micrometer tracing and what happens with micrometer tracing. So without tracing, you would not know what happened, which microservice went down, which order service, in which method there is a problem. But here with micrometer tracing, you see each and every step of the request, including its methods also. Without tracing, you cannot debug the latency. That is how much each individual microservice is taking time and how it is a total end-to-end timing. With micrometer tracing, you can see which method or service is slow and giving a bottleneck to your application. The third is you cannot correlate the logs. Basically, you cannot see the logs because there is no grouping and filtering of them without any ID. But here with micrometer tracing, each and everything is tightly coupled with a trace ID and a span ID. So you can easily filter with the trace ID across how your request went through 4 microservices, and you can filter them with span ID, like how one request in this particular order microservice is behaving into it. Also, it was difficult to analyze into production, but with traces, matrices, logs, it is very easily understandable how and where your production is going down or facing the bottlenecks. Now, let's see in a real-time way how this architecture of micrometer tracing works. Okay, so you are a client. Say suppose you are ordering something from, say, Amazon. So there is a Spring Boot app with the micrometer tracing inbuilt to it. It creates the trace ID, it creates a span ID, it creates a proper log, it sends to proper Zipkin or Splunk. So you choose where the data tracing that you have collected using the Spring micrometer tracing to what should be the backend. That is, you can use a bridge, that is Brave engine or the OpenTelemetry engine, to send all these logs and matrices and traces to send to a particular backend called as Splunk or Zipkin to show it graphically. Now, what happens in an architecture of microservice when you integrate with micrometer or you show an intent with Gradle or build file that I am trying to integrate the micrometer? I'll tell you the code also, don't worry. I'll tell you how you can add the dependencies and what those dependencies exactly do, don't worry. So when you start your Spring Boot application and hit an endpoint like orders API, what Spring Boot 3 plus micrometer automatically do? It creates the trace ID and span ID. It tracks how long this endpoint, the orders API, took. It includes a trace ID in your logs. It is automatically done. Remember, this is automatically added to your logs. And at the end, since you have an exporter in the pom.xml or in Gradle file, it sends all those traces, matrices to Splunk or Zipkin. You can anyways override any of those if you want to have some custom behavior. Okay. So what the 3 dependencies is that you need? You need an actuator because all these matrices comes under actuator endpoint. Then there is a bridge Brave. What is Brave? Brave is the engine and bridge is the basic bridge between your micrometer tracing API and the Brave engine. So that's the bridge dependency, which automatically brings the Brave dependency. Also, I'll tell you how. The third one is the reporter or the exporter dependency, which is going to export everything that is tracked and collected by micrometer tracing API and Brave to a backend called as Splunk or Zipkin. So first of all, what is this Brave all about? This is the dependency that is needed for Brave, that is IO zipkin.brave. So that all the classes like tracer and span is available to you. And this dependency is actually internally being given by this transient dependency called as micrometer tracing bridge Brave. This is actually a bridge between the micrometer APIs and the Brave. I'll tell you what Brave is. Wait. A Brave is a tracing engine. What you internally have is micrometer tracing API. And what you need in between is an adapter. For example, this is your mobile phone. And this micrometer tracing API is your power plug or your switchboard. And you need an mobile adapter to be able to use your phone, charge your phone using your power socket. So that's the bridge. So if anybody asks you what is this tracing bridge Brave dependency that you have added in your pom.xml for implementing micrometer, it is actually the bridge. So it allows you to use the micrometer API like tracer and span to create the tracer ID and the span ID under the hood. It is actually the Brave which creates and manages the trace. So the traces are actually being created and managed by Brave, that is the tracing engine. It's too much. Let's start with an analogy. It's too much of theory for me. So think of it as your car analogy. Nice. So your steering wheel is your micrometer tracing. The bridge is the connector between your steering wheel and your car engine. And this Brave is actually the one who does all the work behind you. This is just the showpiece. So micrometer tracing is just the showpiece given by Spring to you. Brave is the one who actually creates and manages all the traces for you. So to use this beautiful micrometer APIs, you need a bridge, which is a connector between this beautiful steering to your actual one which works, that is engine. So that's the role of bridge to you. And that is what you added in the dependency. So micrometer tracing is you turn the wheel. The bridge is which connects the wheel to engine, and engine is the one who actually moves the car. That is who records, manages and sends the traces to Splunk or Zipkin. So this means, and why we have differentiated and why do we need bridge? Why not let's directly use the Brave? Why do you need micrometer tracing? Because of one of the beautiful design principle of abstraction. It says that you can use the same steering wheel or the micrometer API in all cars. But based on the engine, your car moves differently. If you have strong engine, it will be very quick movement, or it is a very weak engine, it will be a slow turns. I'm not very good in car engines sort of things, but this is just an example to make you understand. So the bridge is just the one which connects your steering wheel to your chosen engine, and you can internally use any of the tracing engine, but from outside you just use the APIs. This will be very clear if I give you the coding example. So when you want to switch an engine, if you don't want to use Brave, you want to use OpenTelemetry, just change this starter dependency. Don't use Brave, rather start using Bridge OTel. If that is clear, I hope I was able to make you understand about this dependency. It was difficult one. Yes, it is a bridge between micrometer API and the Brave, which is the one who does the real work. It is just the abstraction to the real work that is being done by Brave for you. Now, what is this reporter or the exporter? So we know this Brave is the one who creates and manages all the traces. But how does this Brave logs gets into Splunk or Zipkins? That is the exporter. This is the dependency who does export all the traces, takes it from Brave, convert into proper Zipkin JSON, and sends it to Zipkins for better visualization. So this is the reporter or the exporter library that sends the Brave generated traces to an external backend called Zipkin or Splunk if Splunk is able to understand the Zipkin format, because Brave is specially created only for Zipkin. So it takes the span created by Brave, serialize them into Zipkin JSON, and send them to Zipkin compatible endpoint, be it Zipkin or be it Sleuth. So without this, Brave have created the traces, it is managing, but it is not visualized anywhere in the Zipkins or Splunk if you do not have this dependency. So that is why I said, if you want really to have tracing implemented and to be seen anywhere, then these two are the must dependencies. That is a bridge and the exporter dependency. So your code or the API is actually the micrometer tracing API. The bridge is the bridge between your APIs and Brave, who does the real work. The core logic is the Brave, and the exporter is the one who sends all these trace IDs to Zipkin or Splunk. Now this is just the code piece. If you want to know about this code piece, I can show you, but let me know in the comment section. I'll give a live demo to this, which is what I want to give you, because I want to show you how the trace ID and span ID works, but only because the time doesn't permit me right now. If you want this video to be continued into the live demo, just let me know in the comment section. I'll create a proper live demo for this coding for the product and order service, a very dummy one. So this is how you can have your server.port application name. This is a Zipkin endpoint where you're local and you can start. You can also have it in Docker. There is also a log pattern. This is the exact pattern where the trace ID and span ID is sent to your backend called as Splunk or Zipkin. The product service is the one who have the product details to it. So it just sends you the response that for this ID that you are expecting, this is the product. Now order service is having the REST template, because the order service is the one who gives a call to product service. So it uses the REST template and give a call to product API and get the data that the order is placed for this particular product ID. Now, how does this end-to-end works in the Spring Boot application? You start the Zipkin, maybe in local or in the Docker. You run product and order service. You give a call to order service, which internally give a call to product service. And this is the log that you can see. That is, order is placed for order number, product number 123. Now, in the Zipkin, you can see the trace ID as well as the span ID. Now, what happens under the hood? Under the hood, the micrometer tracing automatically tracks the REST endpoint HTTP calls and also attaches the headers like trace ID, span ID, and trace parent to it. What micrometer tracing does is, internally, without even you knowing it, it starts a new child span for all the outgoing calls. It injects the trace headers, trace parent, and everything. It also see how long that particular request took to complete, adds it to your log also, and sends this span to Zipkin or Splunk. Also, it logs the trace ID and span ID if you have configured it properly. That's why I say a demo is important. If you configure it properly, then only you will be able to see the trace ID and span ID. So it has automatically created these two. It has propagated the trace parent between services. It sends the data to Zipkins, and you can see the whole thing in the Zipkin UI. Also, there is one extra thing that we can do in the upcoming video, that we can customize these matrices using the actuator endpoint. So this is how you can just use the @timed one to customize it, and to access it, you can see your customized matrices here in the actuator. That is why I said actuator is also important. Now let's quickly summarize it. The timed annotation is on controller methods. So initially, I want to know how my method is working. So you can customize @timed annotation by giving it on the method level also. Now a quick summary of this. A trace ID is the one which is unique for whole request across all microservice. Span is the one which is common in one particular service or function or method. Context propagation lets you log and span all the traces and span IDs across all the logs, and it carries those trace IDs across all services. Exporter is the one which helps you to send the data, visualize it into the backend services like Splunk and Zipkin, and that is done by the exporter dependency that you have added. And that is the final use case that we can see, that is an order service, a payment service, and you can see that in the Splunk and Zipkin. If you want to have the proper end-to-end demo of this, just let me know in the comment section. I'll create a proper microservices, these two microservices with a single method, and we'll show you how the trace ID remains the same but span ID changes with micrometer. That was all about this micrometer, and most of the things that is going to be asked into an interview, I have covered most of them. If you have faced any other questions on micrometers that is in Spring Boot 3 added, just let me know that also in the comment section. I'll convert that in the advanced topics for Spring Boot 3. Thank you.